What's up, everybody? This is Reverend Guns, and today we're going to be taking apart and cleaning a Ruger 9mm. So the first thing we want to do is make sure it is clear and safe to work on. If you look right here behind the trigger, this is the magazine release. When you push that, it ejects the magazine. We don't want any solvents or cleaners on this, so we're going to set this aside far away from our cleaning station. Then there's a little lever right here. We want to push that up while we have the slide all the way back, and it will lock it in place. So push the slide back, push the slide lock up, let go of the slide, and it should hold it in place. Now we can look down into the barrel there and see there is nothing in the chamber. To release the slide, just push back and put it back into place. And actually, you can leave that back because this bigger lever here is what you're going to rotate downward, and you need it in the back lock position because it's got a groove in the slide right here that allows it to spin. Now you can unlock the slide, and it should just slide right off. So we got the frame. This is the guide rod and spring. From the back side here, you want to depress it so you can take it out. And then you can also slide the barrel out. These are the pieces we will be cleaning today. I'm going to go ahead and grab my gun cleaner and spray it down. And while that's soaking for a moment, I'll explain what tools I've got sitting here. I've got a soft bristle brush. This is got a detail end on the end of it, so you can get in the small areas as well. I've got a harder bristle brush. This is for stuff that's really stubborn to get off. I do not use the metal or brass bristle brushes because I don't want to scratch up anything. And if you've got a good gun cleaner, the soft bristle brush is more than enough. I've got a barrel brush. This is for the 9mm. Gun cleaners. This is all based on opinion and preference, so I suggest you try them and see what you like the best. Got a slotted cleaning rod. We'll use this to finish off the barrel. I've got a couple tools here. We don't need them for this pistol. I've got some gun oil. I've got a gun oil rag. I've got some patches. Q-tips sometimes come in handy. And a couple rags here to wipe things off as we go. So let's get started. First thing I want to do is the barrel, because it kind of matters how you do it. The rest of this stuff you can just go out with a brush. It really doesn't matter. Just scrub it off and get it clean. But for the barrel, you want to go in from the back. Yes, that means two things. And go all the way through. We don't want to go in from the muzzle end because we don't want to chip or ding or bang or anything that could cause damage to the end of this, because it can cause accuracy issues and other problems. So we prevent that by going in from the back. And just scrub it thoroughly. You'll feel it get less gritty and get a lot smoother. Get the feeding ramp real good. And after about a minute or so, should be more than enough. You take your brush and go over everything you got here. Once you got it brushed off, we can take some patches, and for 9mm, I do 2 at a time. It fills up the hole a little better, gives it a nice tight wipe down as you're pushing it through. So again, we'll put it in from the chamber side and push all the way through to give that a nice wipe down. Alright, let's see. Alright, see all that black stuff? That's what we're trying to get rid of. So you want to keep doing this until you don't see any more black on there. And depending on how many rounds you fired will depend on how much of this you'll have to do. This looks like it's been fired quite a bit, so we might have to do this several times. So we're going to keep doing this until we no longer see any more black on there. And honestly, it'll never be a clean white sheet when you're done. It'll look gray, possibly like it's wet. But run it through a few times, rip it off and check it. It's getting better. Not quite there yet. Let's try one more time, see what that looks like. That's looking pretty good. I will do that one more time just for good measure. Make sure nothing left in there. Alright. That's looking pretty good. So we'll call the inside of the barrel done. And we'll give the outside a wipe off. Everything else that we broke free with the brush, we can clean off. And we'll set that aside. The guide rod and spring, I just kind of go over it with the brush. You can use the detail end if you want, because the spring is a little tight. Make sure you get the ends good. And we will give that a wipe off. Looks good. Let's move on to the slide. Basically, you just want to go through and scrub everything. Get it to come apart. Make it a lot easier to wipe off. Make sure you get in the slide rails real good. The detail end works really good on the smaller areas. Get the striker plate real good. Just get around the barrel. Anywhere you can brush, it's not going to hurt it at all. Get around the sight. Brush down the rest of it if you'd like, especially the thumb grooves. Get around the rear sight here. Run the extractor real good. Alright, let's grab a rag here. Get everything wiped off. Alright, for the smaller areas, Q-tips come in handy. And I like to put a Q-tip down the slide rail itself just to make sure it's free of anything. Alright, slide is done. Last thing, the frame. Get the rails real good. the buttons. Alright, once you got that brushed off, take your rag, wipe everything off. So you wipe off the rails real good. Time for some lube. Let's grab our gun oil here. A little rag. Throw some oil on it. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the frame. Basically, you're looking here to see if there's any scratches or rub marks. Anything that looks like metal on metal contact. And where you see those scratches is where you want to make sure you add oil. So you definitely want to get the slide rails. Looks like there. Looks like there. 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 And there. So you don't want to oil everything, just the points that that contact. Oil attracts dust and dirt really easy, so we want to minimize that and put a little amount as possible. All right, on the slide, same thing again. We're looking for scratch marks, rubbing. Those are the areas we want to put oil. So it looks like there, there, there. There's a little mark up here. And you definitely want to get in the slide rails. And that looks about it. You don't want to put any on the extractor. Again, it attracts dust and dirt. We don't want to prevent that from functioning. The guide rod, I mean, you can put some in there if you want to try and force it kind of through the spring. but it really, as long as it's clean, it really doesn't need it. The barrel, again, we're looking for scratch marks or scrapes. Anything that looks like it's been rubbing. And I personally do the whole shaft of the barrel because it's an internal part. Most of it runs up and down it. And then I look at the chamber and I start looking for where it's rubbing on there. Looks like it's rubbing on top, on front, on top, on the side. That looks like about it. Alright. We are done with lube. So let's go ahead and put this back together. I'm going to grab the slide, turn it upside down, and I've got the muzzle facing my left here. We're going to grab the barrel. And you're going to see that on the barrel here, it's got a couple steps. Okay? When you put the guide rod in, it's going to be on this lower step. And you'll want to remember that when you're putting the guide rod in. So with the steps pointing upward, you can slide the barrel into the hole, push it back, and let it seat itself. The guide rod has two ends. This one has a black end and a silver end. And the silver end is much bigger. The black end, the little end, goes into the hole right below the barrel, like that. So you will push it in to the hole, and then you'll have to compress it again to get it on that lower step that I showed you just a minute ago. So now it should look something like this. Alright, see that? Last thing to do is on the back of the slide here, you see there's little notches. Those are going to line up on the frame with the front of the start of the rails here. You will literally just push them in, slide the slide all the way back to its cocked position. So you want to push it back and lock the slide lock up again. And that'll allow you to put the switch back up and into place. So now we can go ahead and uncock it, and let's do a function test. Everything seems to be working good to me. So I'm going to grab a clean rag and give this one last wipe down. This is our time to polish it, remove anything else that you see on it. That's looking good. So we have just disassembled, cleaned, lubed, and reassembled a Ruger 9mm. Thanks for watching. I also offer the online course to get your Texas license to carry a handgun. It's the 4-hour class broken down into segments and saves you progress so you can do it at your own pace. After completing the course, you will be able to print your certificate. Then, it'll help you locate an instructor close to you, no matter where you are in Texas, so you can complete the shooting portion of the course. This is all certified by the Texas Department of Public Safety. Check it out at reverendguns.com. If you have any questions or comments, please add them below. Be sure to like and subscribe for more firearms education.